What's up, y'all? We're about to put together this 200-pound rated book cart from Viver. Got it off of Amazon with this vessel rechargeable screwdriver. So really gonna try to test out the limits, see what this is like, let you guys see, because this is a pretty heavy duty cart. So I'm excited to see what it looks like, yes, but I'm very excited to see what this vessel screwdriver will do. This is the high speed one. It's not actually the one that comes in this case. The regular one comes in this case, but I figured the high-speed one is the one that we'll test out on this little project here. So we'll go ahead and get started. You guys know the rules, no instructions. We're not reading anything, so it should be pretty easy to put together. It's just a little cart. That's what we do. Let's get to it. So it looks like there's two different styles. This one goes on top, and then there's one with threads. So we'll go ahead and find. Yeah, so they'll sit in the middle here. So this top shelf's got some slots, and then these have the threads in there, and then it sits on that base. I'll show you guys that here in a second, but for now we're gonna go ahead and put these together separately. So we'll get this Allen key out, figure out which size it is. All right, so first things first, figure out which screws fit in here. I think they actually all look the exact same. Just make sure it fits. Would you look at that, it fits. Now, you just have to find out which one of these fits it. This is gonna be my guess. Would you look at that, it fits. So we'll get this set up. I made sure it was fully charged, so it's running on battery. I just took it off the charger, fully lit green. Boom, boom, boom. So initial thoughts, these, you have to realize too, these aren't all the way lined up. It does take a lot of the extra work out. And then it's pretty easy to snug up. Yeah, so like that set's good. So we'll set up all three of these, and then from there, we'll place them. So I can get about 3 turns in there after the mechanical, the electric part stops, and then I have to go manual. So now we're gonna go ahead and set these up on one of these sides here. Super easy construction, honestly. Like I said, no instructions. I looked at it for like 5 seconds. I'm not sure where these things go yet, but I don't even know if we'll need them. All right, now, what I mean by set it up on this, is on the end here, these screw in to those. So we're gonna go ahead, they screw into the base plate there, and they sit on top of that. So we'll go ahead and set those up. Definitely gonna take a little bit of convincing. Oh no, they fit good. It was just off a little bit. This is so much better than using an Allen key, especially on this, because it's tight and you'd have to take it out and turn it a bunch. The only time it really stops is when it gets stuck on the other plate. When it's off, it's not lined up perfectly. You definitely don't have to worry about stripping out any of your screws with this though. So things that are machined too, that you don't have to worry about any of that stuff, would be great for this as well. Now you can do whatever you'd like, but I'm gonna make sure that I get all of my stuff lined up, meaning these can fit either way, but there's the top lip and then there's the bottom lip. So I'm just gonna make sure that the top lip's facing that way on every one of them. I really feel bad for all y'all where it's still hot. Feels good here in Indiana. Feels real good here in Indiana. Now for the fun part. Now we're gonna set this thing up here on top. One on each side, so we can stand it up and then we don't have to mess around. I just wanna make sure it's stable. I also have, one of these is bent out right now, which is my fault. We'll go ahead and snug these bottom ones up now. Now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm not going to want to get down here on the ground, and I am not going to put the wheels on yet, because I am going to paint this thing black. See how that turns out. Right, now we'll go ahead and set this thing up. Dude, this thing is hefty. I like it. Now we'll go ahead and secure these screws. This is the one that's messed up, so I'll go get a hammer here in a sec. All right, looks like that solved our issue. All right, so a final official opinion. For one, on the cart, we'll start there, and then next we'll do the screwdriver. But on the cart is so sturdy. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be, which is not a bad thing, but it's definitely a lot wider. It's got both sides. Obviously, you guys saw how well it was put together. Super easy construction, super quick. I think the video was like 8 minutes long. For actually putting it together, it probably took me like 30 minutes, and I was like running around and doing a bunch of stuff. So that was easy. Aside from that, like the construction of it is super sturdy. It's very well made, very well put together. Not super heavy, especially with the handles. It made that part of it made it pretty easy. So we've got that decent cart. It's also they've got a bunch of different colors. I got blue. It is what it is. I should have gotten black. I just didn't think about the color scheme at the time. It doesn't necessarily go in the room that I'm putting it in. As for the screwdriver, this king right here, I think for the bits, it was so nice to have the Allen bits instead of having to use an Allen key, especially with the ball. I really feel like you can almost get a lot more torque on this ball than you can on just a regular screwdriver, because you can grab it like this pretty well and turn it. I like that a lot. Obviously, there's an extensive amount of bits in this here case. It's a solid case. The performance of the actual screwdriver, it held up well. It doesn't like to push past when there's like something else obstructing. It does really well for the parts that are machined for it to go into. It takes care of a lot of the longer threads, and then I would have about 3 turns on the actual thing, so not terrible. You don't have to worry about stripping out screws, which is nice. You know how much torque you're putting on it. It
was a lot easier than using a regular screwdriver. I would have driven myself insane. But the benefit of it over an impact is that you don't have to worry about stripping out screws. I definitely enjoy using it. It's super, super ergonomic. It's held up well. I used it for like 30 minutes, so I didn't really test out the battery a whole lot. It's not a ton of use. It's hard to tell how much use one battery could take. That being said, I hadn't charged it for a very long time. It had been sitting for probably a month as I was like moving locations. I hadn't gotten the chance to use it. It still had a full battery. Like I plugged it in and it was green. Like I had to look it up to be like, it's fully charged when it's green, right? Because it really didn't make sense. So that part, I have a feeling it holds battery well, at least especially when you're not using it. I was very, very shocked at how well it held the battery just waiting for me. I would definitely like to see more of a higher torque on this, but that being said, you know, it's not something that you want a crazy amount of torque with, even though that's what we really want, not what we should have, which is the reason why we're using this instead of an impact. Also, the ergonomics, the shape of it, it is much easier to get into certain places, much easier to use. You can actually use this manually, and unlike an impact, you cannot use that manually to tighten up screws, that type of stuff. So it will be, I'm excited to see this with device screws, to see just how easy it is to put those in. So looking forward to that. If you want to see the full review of this screwdriver, and I can show you all the other tools that I got from Vessel, go ahead, head up to this video. But remember, you guys, it's all for his glory, and I'll see you guys on the next one.